story of African American music begins far from concert halls or studios. It begins in open fields, under a sky wide enough to hold pain, memory, and hope. Here, rhythm becomes a language of survival. Enslaved Africans carry with them ancient musical traditions, call and response, layered percussion, melodic chants shaped by centuries of identity. These field chants, born from sorrow yet fueled by resilience, create a sonic sanctuary. They offer connection when language is stolen, synchronization when freedom is denied, and dignity when humanity is threatened. Every voice becomes an instrument. Every stomp, clap, and hum transforms labor into testimony. This is the first heartbeat of a story that will travel across centuries and evolve into something the world has never heard before. From the chants emerges the ring shout, one of the earliest distinctly African American musical forms. It is more than dance, more than song, it is a ritual. Voices rise, feet shuffle, bodies rotate counterclockwise in a sacred circle. It is a quiet defiance, keeping African spiritual traditions alive beneath the watchful eyes of oppression. The shout fuses movement, rhythm, and worship into a communal expression that strengthens the soul. Its patterns, the layered claps, the call and response lines, the steady pulse, will echo into gospel, blues, jazz, and even hip-hop centuries later. The ring shout becomes an unbroken thread, proof that even under forced silence the music never stops. With emancipation comes a new spiritual soundtrack. In black churches across the South, gospel begins to rise. Rooted in field chants but expanded by newfound worship and community, gospel fuses the sacred with the soulful. Choirs lift harmonies that shake wooden floors. Soloists deliver emotional declarations that bend the line between lament and celebration. Organs hum, feet tap, tambourines fill the air with metallic shimmer. The church becomes the incubator of a distinctly American sound, shaping the vocal power of future legends. Gospel is not just music, it is cultural architecture, a foundation for everything that will follow. As gospel takes root, another genre forms in the margins, one born from hardship and long stretches of southern highway. The blues emerges from the rural South, shaped by wandering musicians carrying guitars and stories etched into their bones. This music is intimate, raw, unvarnished. The blues speaks of lost love, hard labor, injustice, and the search for meaning. Its chords bend like memories. Its lyrics cut like truth. The blues becomes a map of personal survival, a place where emotional honesty is both shield and sword. Without the blues, the 20th century's greatest musical revolutions would be impossible. Then comes jazz, a lightning strike of innovation. Born in New Orleans at the crossroads of African, Caribbean, and European musical traditions, jazz transforms improvisation into art. That don't talk on. That be easy. Trumpets explode with personality. Saxophones twist melodies into new shapes, and drums create rhythms that feel both ancient and futuristic. Jazz quickly spreads north during the Great Migration, finding a home in Chicago and Harlem. In smoky clubs, musicians push boundaries nightly, turning spontaneity into mastery. Jazz becomes the first African American music to captivate the world, reshaping global imagination and announcing that black artistry is a force with no limits. During the Harlem Renaissance, music becomes a declaration of identity. Jazz clubs pulse with energy. Pianos slam, trumpets soar, dancers spin. This moment fuses music with literature, visual art, and political expression. The Renaissance amplifies the voices of black creators, forging an artistic uprising built on pride, culture, and freedom. From rent parties to elegant cabarets, Harlem becomes a laboratory of sound, where blues, jazz, and improvisation blend into something unmistakably modern. Music shapes identity, and identity shapes America. By the 1940s, swing takes the stage. Big bands dominate the airwaves with arrangements that feel like fireworks. Horn sections belt out bold harmonies. Rhythm sections charge forward with unstoppable momentum. Dance halls overflow with joy, offering temporary escape from the weight of segregation and war. Swing becomes a shared cultural phenomenon that cuts across racial lines, even as discrimination persists. In an era of uncertainty, swing gives the nation a soundtrack of motion, unity, and exhilaration. Then the beat electrifies. Literally. Rhythm and blues emerges, amplifying gospel's emotion, blues storytelling and jazz's attitude. The electric guitar becomes the new voice of rebellion. R&B paves the road toward something louder, bolder, and more youth-driven. Rhythms tighten, its vocals sharpen. Its energy begins to shake neighborhoods and transform culture. From this foundation, the next revolution is inevitable. Rock and roll erupts with raw passion. Fueled by R&B pioneers like Little Richard, Chuck Berry, and Fats Domino, the genre electrifies the world. Its rhythms are direct descendants of field chants and blues notes. Its cultural impact is seismic. Teens claim it as their rebellion anthem. Dancers move with new freedom. The sound spreads globally, reshaping fashion, identity, and resistance. Even as the nation debates its origin, one truth remains: Black innovation built the backbone of rock and roll. Next comes the Bronx, a birthplace of reinvention. In the 1970s, hip-hop bursts onto the scene from park jams and block parties. DJs loop breakbeats. Nemesis chant rhythmic poetry. Graffiti writers paint public canvases. Breakers spin on cardboard. Hip-hop begins as a community movement, offering expression amid economic struggle and urban decay. It carries the DNA of every earlier form: call and response, rhythm as communication, poetry as resistance. Hip-hop is not just music, it is cultural rebirth. Hip-hop evolves rapidly. The 1980s bring innovation, sampling, drum machines, and new flows. Artists turn lived experience into lyrical chronicles. Beats become bolder. Production becomes layered. The culture becomes a global phenomenon, influencing everything from language to fashion. Hip-hop spreads far beyond the Bronx, carried by youth who find truth in its urgency. Its reach grows exponentially, reshaping the soundscape of modern America. In the 1990s and 2000s, hip-hop rises to the top of the music industry. It becomes a universal language, bilingual, multi-ethnic, borderless. Artists expand into activism, business, and technology. Subgenres emerge, each telling a new piece of the collective story. Despite its evolution, hip-hop never forgets its roots. Its core remains resistance, creativity, and survival. It becomes the most influential genre on earth, shaping global culture. Montage blending centuries of rhythm, field chants to modern beats. Across 4 centuries, African American music evolves from survival chants to global masterpieces. Yet the heart remains unchanged. Rhythm remains a vessel for memory, identity, and hope. Every genre, gospel, blues, jazz, swing, R&B, rock, hip-hop, carries pieces of the past, reshaped into new forms. This continuum is not accidental, it is ancestral. From the first field chants to today's hip-hop beats, the music testifies to endurance. It tells a story too powerful to silence. This has been Roots Renaissance. See you in the next chapter.